Hello everyone and welcome to the 6th and final feature race of the 2013 Mopar Canadian National Road Racing Championships from Le Circuit Mont-Tremblant, Quebec. I'm your series announcer, Frank Wood. Today we're covering round 6 of the Mopar Pro Superbike feature class from Sunday, August the 25th here at Le Circuit in the Laurentian Mountains. So far this Csbk season, reigning champ and points leader Jordan Zoke on his BMW has won twice, while second in points Alex Welsh on a Suzuki, Honda's Jody Christie, and Saskatchewan's Bodhi Edie aboard a BMW have each scored a single feature win. The 6th and final Superbike feature race of our 2013 Csbk season is presented by Dealey Harley-Davidson Canada, Honda Canada, and Mopar. The time has come for this Superbike final. Mopar Pro Superbike 15-lap National Championship final on the blocks next. As the riders make their way around on the warm-up lap, we'll recognize the front row starting from pole position. A lap time of 1:39.207 for the number 1 rider on the BMW Motorrad Canada, Parts Canada sponsored BMW S1000RR, Jordan Zoke. Alongside him on the number 20 machine, hailing in from Keene, Ontario, riding for Honda Canada and Accelerated Technologies, the number 20 bike of Jody Christie. Scheduled to start in third with Matt McBride. He has withdrawn from the race. Starting from 4th position on the front row on the number 151 machine from Warman, Saskatchewan, with support from F1 Bodhi Edie. Move back to row 2 in 5th position on the Kenwood Electronics Parts Canada sponsored Suzuki GSXR 1000 that wears the number 7, Alex Big Al Welsh. Starting the middle of the second row on the number 31 Aprilia, in from Kleinburg, Ontario, with support from Royal Plumbing, the Warlord, Frank Trombino. And alongside him on the number 116 machine out of Mississauga, Ontario, on the One Speed Chop Shop sponsored Suzuki GSXR 1000, number 116, Trevor Daly. Starting from P8 is the number 24 machine, Sebastian the Shaker Tremblay on the Moto Nation sponsored BMW. Tim Robinson on the Jim Max sponsored number 19 BMW starts from 9th spot. Marie-José Boucher on the number 83 Andras Nelson Performance sponsored number 83 machine out of Quebec City, Marie-José Boucher. And rounding out row 3, starting from P11 on the number 4 Aprilia, Quebec veteran J.F. Sear. Off the rev limiters, they launch. Oh, Christie! Holy Christie! Christie was first off the line, but I don't think he's first going in through 1 and 2. We'll see if we can pick up on that one. Zoke, Christie, and Bodhi Edie. I got a sneaking suspicion Bodhi Edie took the lead on the exit of turn 1 and 2, and I'm getting the nod on that. We lost sight of him, but I'm getting the nod that Bodhi Edie, the Saskatchewan rider on the number 151 machine, the F1 sponsored Warman, Saskatchewan rider. All the Superbikes are on track now. They're down in turn 6 already. Down in turn 6, a high-speed exit from the corner there as the riders try to control the 190 horsepower motorcycles. Down into 7 they go. The right knee comes out with the puck scraping along the asphalt. The riders gently feathering that throttle to keep the motorcycle lined up with a quick stab down into number 8. That is the hairpin. Down into the hairpin they go. Hard on the brakes, exiting now on 9 and making their way up towards the top of the hill. Here they come already. My goodness gracious, the lap times are going to plummet this time around as our top 4 make that 5 riders now steaming down into turn 10 on this lap 1 of 15. We got 15 laps to go. Oh, give me strength. Now out of turn 11 up towards 12. Under the bridge they come. Edie on the 151 machine. Christie on the 20. Zoke is on the number 1. Zoke running in second spot. Jody Christie holding on to third. Zoke right on the inside of Bodhi Edie. Zoke has taken the lead, but he leaves the door open for Edie to return the favor. Doesn't happen. Alex Welsh now had the race lead. It was Zoke that passed Welsh and Christie and the Warlord. And I misidentified there as I thought that was Bodhi Edie coming up there. And in fact, Alex Welsh had the race lead. Zoke taking the race lead from Welsh up in Namaroo, and although there appeared to be room for Welsh to return the favor, it was not offered. So Zoke was leading when last he passed the Pirelli control tower, now working lap 2 of 15, and your race leaders are down in turn number 6. High power through turn number 6, the left-hander, and a virtual smooth transition now over to the right-hand side to take number 7 highway, or number 7 rather, the speedy way down into turn number 8 as they'll use those inside markers to their advantage. Now down into 8 with the rotors of those disc brakes virtually glowing from the heat as they're hard on the front brakes, especially coming down into that corner. Then it's to grab a great big handful of throttle and make their way out through turn number 9, the kink in the back straight. Now they're up into 10 already. Zoke with your race lead on the number 1 BMW Motorrad Canada, Parts Canada sponsored S1000 RR, as he is looking for his 9th Canadian Superbike Championship. He's got a healthy points lead coming into this one. Alex Welsh is the only one that could beat him, and Welsh right now running in second spot. Christie is in third, Bodhi Edie is in fourth, Frank Trombino is in fifth, and the shaker, Sebastian Tremblay, I believe that is. No, it isn't, it's Daly. It's Trevor Daly that's holding on to 6th spot. Daly on the one-stop speed shop 116 machine, as the shaker leads Marie-José Boucher and a group of riders down in through turn 1. The unfortunate truth of the matter is we don't have timing and scoring up in the upper part of the tower, so to give you a rundown on the rest of the riders, race leaders now through 6. Zoke, Christie, Welsh, and Edie, the top 4 riders now. I think we're going to get into alien territory pretty soon here, as Zoke, Christie, and Welsh have been nicknamed the aliens by yours truly because of their dominance in Canadian Superbike racing this year. However, we found out at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park that another alien had been parachuted onto this planet. Zoke still has the lead through turn number 8, and that other alien, of course, turned out to be Bodhi Edie. So we'll see whether those 4 aliens can separate themselves from the rest of the pursuing pack. Thank you, Angel. Jordan Zoke leads over Alex Welsh, Jody Christie, Bodhi Edie. Frank Trombino on the 31 bike running in 5th, with Trevor Daly holding on to 6th on the 116 machine. Number 24, Sebastian the Shaker Tremblay is holding on to 7th spot, with Marie-José Boucher in 8th, Franklin Dominguez in 9th, and Christopher Garvey rounding out your top 10. Honorable mention to JF Sear, who is now in 11th spot. Zoke leads over Welsh, Christie, Bodhi Edie, Frank Trombino, and Daly. Those are your top 6 riders. Oh, big wide line there by Trombino. I think he stuffed it in there just a little too fast and left a big wide line coming in. So he's now starting to move up on Bodhi Edie. The Warlord has gone hunting. Frank Trombino on the number 31 machine has gone hunting. Marie-José Boucher peels it down into turn 1 as she keeps the rider Sebastian Tremblay and Franklin Dominguez right behind Boucher, which is kind of ironic because Dominguez now riding the Honda that Boucher used to ride. Marie-José Boucher switching the BMW. Race leaders are now down into turn 6 and between 6 and 7. So Marie-José Boucher on the Andras BMW and Nelson Performance machine, switching to BMW last year, and the Honda ride being picked up by Franklin Dominguez. Race leaders are now in the hairpin down in turn 8 and 8A. Bodhi Edie looking for a way by, staying with the front group. Zoke is up front with a clear field of vision, and that's exactly the way he likes it. Welsh sitting back in second spot, looking for an opportunity, a possibility for a pass for Welsh to move into first place. If Welsh is going to take the number 1 plate away from Zoke, he has to A, win the race, and B, hope that Zoke has bad luck. Race leaders now up in through turn 12. They exit from under the bridge with Jordan Zook still with a healthy lead here, pacing himself. The top 4 riders make that 6 riders now almost equidistant from one another as they come up from turn 12 up into 14. Now down off of turn 13. Where last lap around we thought that the warlord Frank Trombino was closing some distance on Bodhi Edie. The fact of the matter is that Edie is starting to pull away. Bodhi Edie starting to pull away now from that battle with the warlord. We pick up on Chris Murray-O'Dane on the number 265 machine as he comes past the Pirelli control tower. Bodhi Edie on the 151 machine sitting back in the 4th spot when last we saw him, but he was starting to close on Jody Christie. As Ronnie Monroe comes by on the Kawasaki number 126, the number 1 plate holder in ARL. Race leaders are now down in the valley on the flat floodplain down there, entering the hairpin turn, corner number 8. Now we've got a camera down there. We're capturing all this footage for you. Be sure to check csbk.ca later on this evening and early tomorrow morning for the full footage from this fantastic 15-lap Superbike National Championship brought to you by Mopar. Race leaders now making their way through turns 10 and 11. It's a quick flick over there before they start to climb up the hill towards the bridge, and all those hundreds of spectators that have gathered at that bridge have the best seat in the house for some of the most exciting racing coming in through that left-hander. Oh, look at this. Zook is starting to get some very serious distance between himself and Welsh. As a matter of fact, Christie and Bodhi Edie are starting to close up on Welsh, and Zook is in a zone of his own right now. Clearly head and shoulders above everyone else as he steams down into turn 1 with a huge lead. And again, Bodhi Edie trying to put some pressure on Jody Christie. Christie holding on to 3rd spot. Christie now holding on to 3rd spot, but Bodhi Edie sitting back there in 4th and putting a lot of pressure on him through this race. There they go now through turn 6. Zook with a healthy lead. Kenwood Electronics and Parts Canada sponsored number 7. Alex Welsh is now in turn number 7 and sets off in pursuit of Zook in turn number 8. But Zook served notice this morning. He qualified with a 139, and then they went out for practice this morning, and he cranked off another 139, which was totally unexpected, but sent us the message clearly that he had come to win this motorcycle race. This is not a championship ride. This is a race to win. And the people's champion is up front with that number 1 plate. If he keeps up this pace, it'll be the 9th time that he's won that number 1 plate, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves just yet as they make their climb once more out of the valley and up towards the bridge. Under the bridge comes Zook, Welsh, Christie, and Edie. Something's going to happen here in the next couple of laps between Christie and Edie. Bodhi Edie, although he's been fighting with ABS and traction control problems on that BMW all weekend, he is nonetheless a skilled rider, a very skilled young man who has concentrated now on the target in front of him, and that is, oh, big moment for Edie. Oh my goodness gracious, Bodhi Edie getting the back end swinging around as he went into turn 1 there, hard on the brakes, and the back end just waggling around like the tail of a dog. Bodhi Edie giving me a big fright as he went down into turn 1, and is obvious, as we talked about it, the fact that Bodhi Edie is hunting down now Christie and trying his absolute best to catch him up. Edie on the 151 bike, hailing out of Marmon, Saskatchewan, as he chases Zook, Christie, and Welsh through turn 7 right now, making their way down into the hairpin at the bottom of this racetrack. Zook down into the 39s again. We mentioned the fact that he qualified with a 139. He practiced at 139, and now he's out leading this race, recording a 1 minute 39.7 second run last time around. So Zook, the people's champion, that horse has got a burr under its saddle. He is going for a ride. Jordan Zoke on the number 1 bike has a huge lead, a totally dominating ride here at the final round of the Mopar Pro Superbike Championships. It's Alex Welsh, Jody Christie, and Bodhi Edie. Where's Edie? Where is Edie? We have a rider down in turn 8. That could be Bodhi Edie. We'll look for confirmation on that, but Bodhi Edie is definitely not in our top 4 right now. And you'll remember that just moments before that, we had watched Edie go into turn 1 and just about get out of shape as he had the front brakes on and the back end wagging in the air as he approached that right-hander through the switchback. And it is, I'm getting the nod on it, Bodhi Edie. What an unfortunate turn of events. The rider is up and all right. Edie is not injured in this mishap, so it's a very relatively minor crash, but it has destroyed the chances he might have of winning this national championship final. Bodhi Edie, number 151, while running in 4th spot, has now crashed out. Zoke, Christie, and Welsh are now working the 6, 7, 8 combination. And the number 8 combination may be the secret to this one, because every time Zoke comes out of that hairpin corner and grabs a handful of BMW horsepower, it seems to make a huge difference. Zoke is down in 8A right now. We're approaching the halfway mark of this 15-lap contest. The halfway flags are being readied. They will be displayed to the race leader once they make their way around. Right now they're approaching the bridge and climbing out of that valley and the uphill trajectory. And that big left-hander where all the fans are joined at the bridge there, watching the action of these 190 horsepower 1000cc superbikes. As Zoke riding that BMW and the thing not missing a beat thus far. Christie now Welsh rather extending his advantage over Jody Christie in 3rd spot. So they run Zoke, Welsh, and Christie. Christie getting into Namarone very, very wide there. And perhaps he's trying to push just a bit too hard, trying to catch up with him. Here comes the Warlord now, sitting back in 4th spot. And Trevor One-Speed Daly on the 116 machine. But looking now, the battle for 5th spot starting to heat up here. As out onto the front straightaway, it is the shaker, Sebastien Tremblay, number 24. Tim Robinson on the 19, Jim Max. There's Christopher Garvey on the number 71 machine. Chasing him down in through turn 1 is Chris Murray-Ordain on the number 265 machine, also in pursuit. Meanwhile, your race leaders down in the flatlands, duking it out. Although I don't think duking would be quite an apropos description right now, as Zoke has really taken total command of this race. Equally, it seems as though Welsh is running a safe and secure 2nd spot, albeit some distance. Oh man, look at this distance. Zoke coming up that back straightaway. Man, that BMW is so fast in terms of acceleration and also in terms of top speed. I'll tell you, the rider I'm keeping an eye on right now is the number 31 of the Warlord, Frank Trombino, running back there in 4th spot. In behind Christie, Welsh, and Zoke in that order. Looks like Garvey just got past there. I think that was Franklin Dominguez making the pass on him. He leaves the door open for a return favor. Do we pick up on Tim Robinson on the number 19 Jim Max machine? Yeah, Franklin Dominguez making a nice pass on Christopher Garvey on the entrance to Namarone. Race leaders are now down in turn 7, and our camera down at turn 8 is catching the approach down there. They'll catch the bikes coming in. They're hard on the brakes and often is not lifting the back wheel just a tad off the ground. That back wheel swinging around just like you might see in a MotoGP race. Right now on the acceleration curve up out of 8A and towards 9. Long straightaway from 8A up into 9 and 10. 9 being just basically a kink in the back straightaway, not really a turn. Number 10, however, is a turn. It is hard to the right, and it is followed shortly thereafter by the hard turn number 11 that brings them up towards the bridge, which is right where they are right now. Zoke clear of the bridge now and making his way up into Namarone, corner number 14. Zoke, although he's keeping, Welsh I should say, while he's keeping Zoke in sight, he definitely has gotten close enough. He's not gotten close. Oh, big moment for Welsh. Oh my goodness gracious. Welsh getting a big wobble And Nadine Lajoie and myself both reacting to that one in the tower, as Trevor Daly goes to school on one of our wiliest veterans, Frank Trombino, and Daly closes on him. Daly on the GSXR 1000 and Frank Trombino on the Aprilia V4 number 31, being pressured by the number 116 machine of the rookie rider Trevor Daly. Likewise for Sebastian Tremblay, a big wobble as he comes out of turn number 15. Here now Franklin Dominguez, JF Sear, Christopher Garvey. Down into turn 1 they go. Meanwhile, we look to the back straightaway to pick up on our race leaders coming out of turn number 9. And when last we saw him, as we mentioned, Jordan Zoke had a very big commanding lead. Also take note that we anticipate that they'll likely be into lap traffic fairly soon. Now into the hairpin is our race leaders, up and over the hill now in towards corner number 10. As now we're starting to get into a bit of traffic here, although it's not heavy traffic by any means, and certainly with Zoke's skills and the fact that he has no one pressuring him, he should be able to get past the lap riders with no incidents whatsoever, and maybe halfway through this next lap before Ronnie Monroe gets the blue flag to let him know that the nation's champion, the people's champion, is on a rampage here at Le Circuit Mont-Tremblant. As Mopar presents the Pro Superbike National Championship final. Christie brings out the number 20 Honda onto the front straightaway here. Now comes Trombino. You see Trombino's got sight of him. Trombino has caught sight now of Christie, and I think he's got his head down and in pursuit. It's kind of like waving the carrot in front of the donkey, like you mentioned before, Nadine. Once you've got that carrot hanging in front of you, it makes it a little bit easier to run faster. Alex Welch, Big Al they call him. He's got that stitched across the backside of his leathers. Big Al on the Kenwood Electronics sponsored Parts Canada GSXR 1000, as he came into this weekend with a possibility of taking the number 1 plate from Jordan Zoke, but that evaporated very quickly after qualifying. Jordan Zoke, meanwhile, has just come out of turn number 12. Quick kink of turn number 13 up into 14. Ronnie Monroe on the Kawasaki running on the 126 just in front of him, and Monroe no doubt will be getting a blue flag from our track marshals very shortly as Zoke goes peeling past. Welsh in pursuit. Welsh smooth this time, not quite as bad, but he's still got that funny wobble coming off the final turn here. We've seen that same thing on Jody Christie's bike as well, so maybe that the a reaction to the tire wear pin right now. Race leaders are in the hairpin, and Trombino trying to close up on Jody Christie on the number 20 Honda CBR 1000. Trombino, the warlord, with one of 2 Aprilia V4s that are in this race. Jean-Francois Cyr on the number 4 machine, and Frank Trombino on the number 31, both campaigning the Aprilia V4. And Ronnie Monroe cleanly and clearly passed by both Zoke and Welsh on the entrance to Namaro. And now Christie up into turn number 14. Zoke on the number 1 machine. Let's see if we can pick up on Zoke as he crests the hill at turn number 9. They've down into the hairpin. They have gotten through that area of the race course, and now using that BMW horsepower. 190 horsepower on tap. Actually, it spun the dyno at 193 horsepower, and they actually had to go into it and tune it down just a tad. Zoke, Welsh, and Christie down to the hairpin now. Zoke will be the first one we see cresting the hill at turn 9, making his way up towards the right-hand turn at turn 10. Here he comes. Distinctly, we can see him from this distance. And speaking of distance, look at the distance between he and Alex Welsh. Welsh has been left a very lonely second place there as he tries desperately just to keep Zoke within sight. as the People's Champion truly has the bit between his teeth on this one. He has no intentions of having a race with anyone. This is his race. It has been really since he started cranking off 1 minute and 39-second laps through practice, qualifying, and then morning warm-up as well. He put his foot down. There's no way in the world you're peeling that number 1 plate off that BMW. Not this year, my friend. So with a 9th Superbike Championship just down the road for him. We'll follow the action through the final few laps of this race as Welsh has gone by. Now here comes Jody Christie, and Trombino has definitely closed. Trombino has definitely closed on Christie, and he's going to have a couple of laps to get things done. They're on the penultimate lap right now. Frank Trombino trying to catch up to Jody Christie. That is the race within the race at this point. Ronnie Monroe has pulled out. Ronnie Monroe on the number 126 Kawasaki has retired from the race. Here comes the shaker. Number 24, Sebastian Tremblay on the Moto Nation sponsored number 24 machine being chased down by the number 19 in turn 8 as Garvey fighting it out there on the number 71 Kawasaki. Right now your race leader Jordan Zoke making his way up the back straightaway. He has just come into sight right now. Peels off to Ryder's left to set him up for that right hand corner of turn number 10. A quick flip over to turn number 11, and very soon the fans up at the bridge will see the national champion with that big number 1 plate on the front of that BMW closing in on them. Jean-Francois Cyr is reported to having stopped somewhere on the track, the number 4 veteran rider. It looks like he has retired from this. There is not a crash involved in this. There may be mechanical mayhem, but Cyr is out of it for a certainty. Here now, the last lap flag is being given to Jordan Zoke as we pick it up. It's down in turn 10, as a matter of fact, JF Cyr. Now look at Trombino, the Warlord. The Warlord is closing on Christie. This is going to be an extremely exciting lap to watch for that final podium spot. Recognize that is the Warlord, and look at the battle between the shaker, Sebastian Tremblay, number 1 rider Jordan Zoke now coming out of the hairpin on this, the final lap. Franklin Dominguez battling it out in a 3-way battle mid-pack as Chris Murray Ordain brings it past the tower once more. Zoke has now come into sight on the back straightaway, making his way down into turn number 10. 10, 11, and 12. 3 corners rather to go on this, the final lap of this 15-lap national championship contest. Here he comes, the last run up into Namaro for Zoke on the number 1 bike. BMW Motorrad Canada, Parts Canada, solidly behind our national champion, and this will net it for him an unprecedented 9th national championship, 9 times number 1. Well, the job is insurmountable now for Frank Trombino. He can't get it done. There's no way in the world he's going to catch Jody Christie, as Christie holding on desperately to 3rd place. Alex Welsh has gone by, capturing 2nd spot. Now here comes Christie in the final podium position. An honorable mention to Frank Trombino. You look like you had your hands full out there at times. Let's talk about your race.
Yeah, definitely a really long day, you know, a really challenging day emotionally, with the loss of a fellow racer. You know, all my thoughts and prayers go out to him and his whole family. I dedicate both performances to him today. You know, he's a true competitor and a great friend, and you know, that made it pretty challenging out there.
2nd spot went to Alex Welsh. Let's talk about his race. Alex?
Yeah, you know, that was the toughest one over the year. You know, we came into the weekend and we were just a little bit behind the whole time. You know, thanks to my crew, you know, Zed, Pi, and Willie, Nadine, everybody we worked hard, and like I said, we were just a little bit behind. A little bit behind all weekend, but you know, they gave me the best bike, you know, come race time, and you know, I tried to make the best of it. You know, it was a lot of work out there, you know, and Jordan, congrats to Jordan. You know, he was kind of one up on us all weekend, and you know, I just didn't have anything for him today.
Now to the top of the step once more, to the people's champion 9 times. Jordan, let's talk.
Yeah, obviously, like Al said, you know, this weekend we had a just amazing setup over there. We managed to get the jump on everybody all weekend, and man, what a start by him. I couldn't believe it from the second row to first. Just when I thought I got a good start, and but you know, all year long, all the races have been such dogfights. I was just so awesome. What a great feeling to have the bike and from, you know, the setup today to do what we did. That was just made it extra special to take off, and it just felt so good all weekend. And you know, John and Matt and Derek and my mom and dad and Jean and everybody over there, my wife who does all the promoting for us, all the press stuff. It really is, like everybody says, a team event, and it couldn't have done without them. It's just been awesome.
And now I'd like to call upon Jeff Johnson from Pirelli Tires to present the #1 plate to Jordan Zook for his 2013 Mopar Canadian Superbike Championship. Jeff?
It's my honor to present you your 9th champion #1 plate. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Man, I'm so lucky to win one of these means so much to every rider. To win even a Superbike race, and I can't believe I won 9 of them. I never thought that would happen, and every year they mean something to me. It's everybody goes, Jordan, when are you going to stop winning? And I say, I hope never. I just love it. I love being out here, and I just love competing, and what a great challenge these guys gave me this year. Both of them are getting better every year, and I'm getting older, so I'm sure they'll have me sooner than later. And it's just been a lot of fun, good, clean racing with these two this year, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
And now to present the Canada Cup to Jordan Zook for his 9th Superbike Championship. Once more from Pirelli Tires, Jeff Johnson.
Woo! A lot of names on. There's a lot of his name up there, isn't there?
Frank, can you help him with the plate so we can see it?
I'll take the plate. There you go.
Hold it high.